go first. Now, if you've ever summoned somebody with a warlock, you'll know that when you click the portal, it takes a second for the portal to begin casting. This is true for the mind control orb as well. So when it's your turn to mind control, you click the orb and you wait. If you click it a second time, you will get the debuff and you will have wasted your turn, and you will need to immediately call to the next mind controller that you screwed up. So Living Failure will take the orb first. He'll click the orb, he'll wait, he'll get the mind control, and he will get a pet bar. On the pet bar, there are several abilities. One of them is Volley. Never touch this. Volley will attack all of the bad guys in the room. The bad guys will run to the boss, kill the boss, and will lose. So you'll never touch the Volley button. There's another button which I don't know and I can't find the name of that breaks the eggs. We'll figure it out real fast. You'll want to break the eggs. Destroy egg. So you'll want to break the eggs in the far end of the room first. The very last egg to be broken will be the one in the lower left corner. And if we're talking left and right, the entrance is always the beginning. So left is to the left of the entrance, right is to the right of the entrance. So on the lower left egg, you'll want to leave that one for last. So the mind controllers will never touch that egg. Mind controllers will destroy eggs, and maybe if they want to use some DPS with their other ability that's not Volley to help the raid, because there is like an 8-second cooldown in between the ability to break the eggs. So Living Failure will click the mind control orb. He'll get the mind control. He'll begin breaking eggs. He will have a timer in the corner that will tell him how long before mind control breaks. When mind control is about to break, he needs to take the boss as far away to the other platform as he can, because as soon as the mind control breaks, the boss is going to start running towards the mind control orb, and if it's too close to the orb, it'll kill the mind controller. So you want that boss to start coming towards you, but have enough time for the second mind controller to click the orb. So after the first mind controller clicks the orb, breaks eggs, when his timer's about to go down, he moves it away. The second mind controller, he says, okay, I got 5 seconds. Okay, it's broken, mind control. The second mind controller will mind control and go back to killing eggs. When all the eggs are destroyed, the enemies in the room that are left run away, and phase 2 begin, which I'll get into later. Okay, so we've got 4 corners where enemies spawn. And we're going to put a tank and DPS melee and a shaman in each corner. And a healer in each corner. Unlike usual raids, we will put a healer in each of the groups so that they know where they're healing and whatnot. So there are 3 different mobs that spawn. There are mages, which need to be killed first as soon as they spawn. So if you're killing a dragonkin, because there were no mages and a mage spawns, you need to switch to the mage, kill the mage, go back to the dragonkin. All of the ranged DPS will be kind of in the middle, and I'm going to specifically call out certain people for specific corners. So each corner will have specific caster range that will help. It's obviously up to the ranged that if your corner is out of mobs, you go help the other corners, but I don't see that being a situation. I see there being more mobs than we're able to kill. And as the fight goes on, there's going to be more and more mobs in each corner. And so there's a secondary strategy that we might have to do, depending whether or not our corners get swamped. I want to say that our corners won't get swamped like in the videos, and we'll be able to kill them as they spawn, and everybody will be happy and go yay. But there's a chance that the corners will get swamped, the tanks in the corners will die, and then all hell will break loose. I'll go over the secondary strategy if it ever comes to that. It's kind of a wild kiting strategy, but it's how I did it back in the day. So the corner spawn mobs, DPS kill the corner mobs, the mind controller kills the eggs. Once all the eggs are destroyed, phase 2 begins. We'll have Whoop, or whoever is going to be the first tank, take the last orb control and kill the last egg, getting him aggro on the boss. Now the boss has a volley attack that hits everybody in the room with a shadow bolt. We need to out that by going around the corner of the platform. So we'll all be on the left side of the room, on the left side platform where the orb is, and we will make out calls, and everybody needs to out to avoid the shadow bolt. Now it's important, of course, that the healers don't out and let the tanks die. That would suck. So now the boss does a conflagration attack in a forward cone. Obviously, that will suck if the mob gets turned around and hits the DPS from behind, so we all have to make sure that we're behind the boss, and the tanks do their best to keep it facing in the opposite direction. Now, one tank will be in front with the off tanks to the side at 90 degrees, because it'll do the conflagration, and then it'll let go of the main tank and go on to the next person. Hopefully that'll be a tank, so we'll have to watch our DPS and make sure that the tank is the one to get the aggro. So it conflags the tank in front, the next tag gets aggro, he moves to the tank spot and begins tanking. That tank gets conflagged, it goes on to the next tank, that tank moves to the tank spot and resumes. It's going to go round and round and round. I don't know how long it will take to kill the boss in phase 2, hopefully not too long. And during that time, we will be doing out calls where we run behind the platform to avoid the shadow volley. Boss dies, we win. That's basically the fight in a nutshell. Any questions? Everybody cool on that? That one's pretty good?
Yep.
That guy.
Yes.
How long is that debuff?
1 minute.
From. Oh. So when you click
for the mind controllers?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is why we're going to have 3 mind controllers. We might need all 3 to do it in a rotation, but I think it's doable with 2. The walkthroughs aren't real clear on that. I've read a bunch of walkthroughs, and none of them are real clear on how long you have the mind control ability and how long the debuff is. That's why we're going to have 3 different mind controllers, Tip Taps, Expiry, and Living Failure, doing a rotation. Hopefully, it'll just be Expiry and Expiry and Living Failure. But in the case of a resist, which can happen, Tip Taps will be called on to mind control.
Okay.
There are some mobs that's on the orbs that you have to kill first before you.
Yeah, they're real easy. They go right down real quick.
Just make everyone go engineering and blow them up with Goblin Cyber Charge.
Alright. Okay, so let's say we kill the first boss. Everybody has to stay put in the room and not go towards the open door. If you go towards the open door, you're going to screw up our ability to get Elementium ore, and that would suck. So, we kill the first boss. Using hunters, we pull the second room. Kill the NPC trash, which is not that hard from the first to the second boss. Hopefully we'll get some Elementium ore and some BOE drops. And we'll move on to the second boss. Now, let me, just 1 second here. I'm going to have a piece of paper ready. Turn my light on. Alright, second boss, Veil Strats. This is the fight where we're going to want some fire resist. Now, you have to make sure that you have around 100 fire resist as a not tank. Tanks need their full fire resist set. You can easily obtain this by most of your tier 1 set. Things like your Dire Maul Trinket, your Oni Cloak. All of this is good and will give you fire resist. If you're at like 87, that will probably be fine. But if you're like 60 resist, you might want to consider getting another piece to bring you up over 80.
Is that including Shaman Totem?
I mean, if you're in the Shaman group, I guess you don't need it. But is the Totem up 24/7 without fail?
Almost.
Almost? Alright, then I guess that'll help a lot. Okay,
30-yard range anyway.
Alright, so first of all, the ability, Okay, so to begin, Fight 2 is a 3-minute damage race. If you don't win in 3 minutes, you're dead. This is the thing. You could theoretically, on paper, kill him in under 2 minutes, but that would have to be perfect, like tank threat. And I don't think we're going to have perfect tank threat. So we're going to need to draw out that 3-minute timer and use the full 3 minutes. Okay, so what's going to happen is everybody's going to get a buff called Essence of the Red. Essence of the Red gives you infinite mana, energy, and rage. All right? He starts at 30%, giving a giving the warriors the ability to execute almost immediately. But if they constantly execute, they're going to pull threat and wipe the raid. So obviously they're going to have to watch the threat. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to have the tank get into the tank spot. The tank spot is a very important spot because it's a spot where the healers can heal the tank, but not get hit. Heal the tank, but not be in range of the boss. There's an angle that we'll figure out when we get there. All right, so it's going to do something called Burning Adrenaline. Burning Adrenaline is like the Baron debuff, where it gives you a debuff, and after the debuff ends, you die. It also hurts everybody around you, so you're going to have to run out. But here's the thing. It lasts for 20 seconds and gives you instant cast and double damage. So you're going to have to be smart. Each and every person who has mana is going to have to be smart. They're going to see the debuff hit them, we're going to call them out, and they're going to damage their ass off without pulling aggro for 10 seconds. Bang, 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 for 10 seconds. As soon as that 10 seconds and you got 10 seconds left, you start running away from the raid so you don't hurt the raid. So you do your best to do damage and then get out of the raid. It's going to do Burning Adrenaline on a caster. That caster will do damage, run out the raid. It's going to do Burning Adrenaline on a caster. That caster will do damage, then run out of the raid, and then it will hit it on a tank. Now here's the thing. The sub-tanks are going to be on the opposite side of the dragon getting threat. God, I hope they have secondary threat, because if they don't, we're going to have to tell the other DPS who are getting threat that they're going to have to cool off, and that will lengthen the fight, and that will cause a wipe. So the tank gets Burning Adrenaline, fights it for the full 20 seconds. As soon as the 20 seconds burn off, he dies, and the dragon's going to turn and go to the next tank, and that tank has to bring it to the tank spot. If the tank tries to bring it to the tank spot too soon, he'll die to the first tank's Burning Adrenaline. If he does it too late, everybody else will get tail swiped and wipe the raid. It is a very stressful thing for the off tanks to deal with. The off tanks have to be very good at waiting for the tank to die. The tank will call, 3 seconds left. He'll die. The next tank runs to the tank spot without getting hit.
Tech guy's question.
Yes.
When you say it's going to target the casters, does that include healers as well?
Yes.
Okay, so if a main healer gets tagged,
Yes.
the person could cast really quick.
Yes, he'll have instant cast heals, 10 seconds worth, then he has to run out the raid.
Gotcha.
Or should I do instant cast heals or should I do instant cast DPS?
You should probably keep up with the heals. I don't know, man. That'll be up to you, because if you let the tank die, that would suck. But the damage is good too. I mean, it's gonna that I'm gonna put in your hands.
If you're spec'd for healing, I would guess you should do healing, because you're gonna turn to hit the boss and it's gonna resist, and it's not like, I don't know. I would guess healing. I would think focus on healing in that situation.
Right. So the whole fight is caster gets hit, does damage, runs away. Caster get hit, does damage, runs away. Tank gets hit, calls it out 3 seconds. Tank moves it to the tank spot. Next tank begins. This is where we're going to wipe a lot. We're going to wipe a lot because the DPS are going to be above the secondary tanks in threat. And if that happens, we have to call out whoever's doing that to be like, okay, you have to watch your aggro. And this, of course, lengthens the fight. Now we're going to have 4 tanks, which is just long enough for the 3 minutes. So we need to avoid the tail swipe by the tank moving to the tank spot quickly. And we need to kill it in the 3 minutes. And it's a big aggro test. Can we do less damage threat than the off tanks without pulling? Okay. And can we kill it in 3 minutes because those people are cooling down their DPS? They can't go balls to the walls or we will wipe. Any questions on that one, please? This is the harder fight of the first 2. I have a feeling we're going to wipe a lot learning about our DPS threat. And once we've learned the DPS threat, it'll be easy breed.
As far as the normal hits, is this a hard hitting boss or not? Like,
it's a dragon. It's a dragon. He's gonna hit you with fire breaths and regular attacks.
Cleaves. all that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there shouldn't be any cleave issues because, all right, so the dragon is facing the tank. The tank is on the left wall. We're talking about us. We're talking about us as a group of people. We're in a doorway. Okay, we're standing in a ball in a doorway, looking north. Okay, the tank will be on the west wall, tanking the dragon. The dragon will be facing left. His tail is dangerous. His head is dangerous. The off tanks will run through the dragon and be attacking on the opposite flank to the big ball of damage on the close flank.
For the warriors, are we gonna recommend them using cleave instead of heroic?
I mean, they're going to have to learn. I mean, like, we're going to have the threat meter, which does never, ever works properly, but basically, if they're doing too much damage and pulling threat before the secondary tank gets aggro, then he's going to have to either stop attacking altogether for a little while, or do things like cleave instead of heroic strike, or we're going to have to learn based on trial and error. And if you, as a specific person, are getting secondary aggro before the second tank, then you're the problem, and you need to fix it personally. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would say cleave is definitely a solution if you're building too much threat. I would prefer us going in that the DPS warriors are overly cautious, rather than just going,
Right. We got
like
3
really
minutes.
inching up on the tanks.
We got 3 minutes to win the fight. Under perfect circumstances, it could be done in under 2. It's got like the same amount of health as Rag, but we get to execute sooner. So I mean, like we could kill the boss in a minute and a half, but I don't think that the secondary, tertiary tanks are going to have the threat necessary to have more threat than constantly executing warriors.
Well, I was gonna have Gouda tank first, and then myself.
Okay. I would say Arctor should tank first. Maybe.
Then we would lose our crit rate when he dies.
Okay. All right.
He is more tanky, but Gouda isn't full prod, I would imagine. So
I would just think, because it's easy for him to hold aggro as the first person, but it's probably difficult for him to take aggro as the third or fourth person.
Arctur?
Druid, if he has the Nomergon weapon, he should be able to do it.
Okay. All right. We'll find out when we get there which tanks should go in which order. Basically, it's going to be a race. So whoop first, whatever, that's cool. The second tank should be whoever gets it, right? It's not going to be like, okay, stupid second or stupid third. It's going to be whoever gets it.
Oh, it'll be stupid.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Right. So are you going to go with dual wield while you're gaining threat and then throw a shield on, like when the other tank says 3 seconds?
That's what I'm thinking. So if he really does hit hard,
yeah, you're going to want your shield. He's going to be doing a breath attack and regular hits.
I mean, I can be popping fire res pots as well to mitigate some of the damage, and stone shield. Well, actually,
Well, one or the other.
Yeah. So I'll start with shield. I'll take it off for a second, see if it's hitting too hard, and then I'll just kind of test it the first time.
Yeah. So does anybody else have any questions on that fight?
I like the off tanks just executing the whole time.
Yeah, so for threat for warriors, I think for the tanks, you just need to establish threat in the first 10%, and then for execute phase, everyone should be spamming execute, and no DPS should be overcoming the tanks at that point.
Okay. Well, here's hoping.
I might switch.
Like, I don't think execute scales
right
with like anything. It's just stagnant. So everyone should be doing the same DPS pretty much.
Doesn't the
Should
weapon
be
damage
depending on
affect
crit? Basically, don't think so.
I could be.
Like, the only thing that should be affecting warriors DPS, like for execute phase, would be crit. Everyone should be causing the same amount of threat, pretty much.
Okay.
I believe
so,
at least.
You know, just as long as they don't pull it off the tank, or when the tank dies, it goes to them. Because I have a feeling like, Whoop's gonna die, and then it's going to turn to Fast Lad, kill Fast Lad, breathe on the raid, and then we all die. That's what I'm expecting is going to happen a few times.
As far as keeping up threat, like that would be one reason why the druid tanking first could be a better option.
Would be better. Why?
I was thinking like since keeping I don't know how much threat a druid can keep up with
Druids can do amazing threat.
Well,
without
Where-
executing. I mean,
we're not hurting on threat. So the reason why, the reason why I have the opinion that the druid doesn't at least tank, even in this fight, unless like towards the end, is because the tanks in that group would be getting the 3% crit rate. But we have myself, Gouda. We can have Ugly Bacon and Proc here, so we're aiming for about 5 people who can tank, including our force of 4 warriors. And I would be very upset if we go through all 4 without killing the boss, or all 5.
yeah, that makes sense.
All right,
Sweet.
moving on. Okay, so let's say we kill the second boss. We all cheer. We move up the ramp, and we go to the very edge of the.
Wait, I do have one more question. Is that okay for the other one?
Go for it.
How healing intensive?
I mean, it's going to be very healing intensive. You're going to have the tank getting hit pretty hard, and you're going to have
Holy
random
shit, how come this guy
damage
Follow me.
as people
I was
get
just
burning
saying
adrenaline.
Yeah,
Bro, just
another
fight him.
tank.
Just
Just
follow me so fucking far. What the hell?
Oh, whether or not you go tank or not, I would prefer you to be resto at least the first time going in, and then if we have issues past that, then we'll have you switched. But like I said, we'll have 5 tanks. So if we were to be going, like if we were to go through all 5 tanks, then we would be
Running out
yeah,
of time. Right.
Exactly, we wouldn't have enough time for that. So good to go.
All right, so moving on to the suppression room. All right, so when we get to the suppression room, it's consider yourself going to the top of a ramp, and you're standing on an edge of a platform, and you look to the north, and there's this huge room. All right, there's a right wall. We are going to be quasi-hugging the right wall. Okay, the raid will need to be in a ball, and by ball I mean like a tight ball. We will need to learn formation. Much more than we have in any other raid. We need to stay in a tight ball, and we're going to have a rogue at 12 o'clock on the north. We're going to have a rogue on the west to the left of us, and a rogue to the south behind us. So we're moving with a ball with 3 points to the top, to the left, and to the bottom, with our right being against the wall. Now, as we move through the room, there will be these traps called suppression machines, or whatever they're called. The rogues, who will stay cloaked and not help with the damage on the trash, will simply be disarm trapping the machines based on their location. So if it's in front of us, it'll be the one in front of us. If it's to our left, it'll be the rogue on the left. And if it pops up and respawns behind us, the rogue south of us will disarm it. So as we're moving through the room, there will be whelps, and there will be dragonkin. Now, it's important for the hunters to pull the dragonkin without swamping the raid, as in we only pull as many as we can handle as we move through the room. So the mages and the warlocks are killing the whelps, the hunters, the DPS warriors, and I guess the shadow priests will be killing the dragonkin. All right. So as we move north to the end of the room, we will stop and drink as best as we can. All right. Hugging that right wall, drink, kill, all the while disarming the traps ahead, to the left, and behind us. When we get to the end of the room, we will all go into the top right corner next to the doorway. There will still be whelps and dragonkin. We have to kill them, and then drink, and then pull the boss. At the point where we pull the boss, we shouldn't get any more trash mobs. We should be good. But it will be a very quick transition between killing trash mobs and fighting the boss. It's all one smooth move. Kill mobs, move. Kill mobs, move, drink. Kill mobs, move, drink. Kill mobs, move, drink. Pull the boss. If we are too slow, we'll get swamped by mobs. If we're too fast, we'll have no mana. So, we pull the third boss, and the third boss begins. All right. The third boss, I've heard a couple different people say a different way of doing it. Some people say kill it as fast as you can. Some people say it's a slow, drawn-out. I'm going to go with the expectation that we're going to do a slow, drawn-out fight. The boss will kick away the tank, lowering his threat, which will cause us to pull aggro, and then we'll die. So, we need to give the tank opportunity to get aggro, like Onyxia. Once he has established aggro, we'll begin fighting him. Here's the thing about this boss. Every 30 seconds or so, he will do a Mortal Strike. Now, I believe he's tauntable. So in a perfect world, the off tanks will taunt right before the Mortal Strike, get aggro, get the Mortal Strike, and then the main tank will taunt it back. This is going to be a strategy that we're going to need for several of the next bosses. So the tanks need to communicate and work well together in order to taunt certain debuffs, wing buffets, and mortal strikes so that the main tank doesn't get it. If the main tank gets mortal striked, it's not the end of the world. The priests will shield him, and everybody will heal their asses off, getting him back to full life. This is where having a flask on the main tank is useful. So it's a slow fight where we don't pull aggro. We got to watch our aggro like the second boss. As we fight him, he'll get mortal striked. We'll heal him up. Hopefully we'll taunt the mortal strike by the secondary tank. And it's a slow and steady fight. Once he's dead... Oh, okay. It also has a blast wave, like Baron Geddon. But it's not waves. It's just one pulse. And we're going to need the melee DPS to out. And hopefully the DBM will give us a clear warning about that. And FastLad can be in charge of the out call. So that's that fight. Any questions on that fight or the suppressor room?
Just so we're clear, you got to do suppression room every time before the boss, right? If
Yes.
You wipe
If we wipe, we have to do the suppression room again.
Oh, okay.
Do we know what rogues are disarming?
Obviously, it will be Hussah, Merc, and I don't know, Beamer, something like.
Four, right? Because we have 4 rogues signed up.
Well, yeah. One of them we might want to keep in the group to extra DPS. I don't think we need all 4 disarmed.
I think we need 3. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we need 1 in front of us, 1 to the left of us, and 1 behind us.
Okay. Okay, so with the Mortal Strike issue, why not have, I guess, whoever has aggro take the Mortal Strike hit and then have an off tank taunt it after, I suppose.
That would work too. That would work too. The issue with that is then we're flasking 3 tanks.
Doesn't Arthur have enough health?
You also have to worry about the aggro drop ability.
Right. The knock away that I said at the beginning of the fight. He's going to knock away.
Wing Buffet?
Yeah. It's called knock away. Wing Buffet is the later dragon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ability is called knock away. It's similar to the big rock guys in Molten Core. So all of the walkthroughs say have 1 main tank consistently holding threat, getting hit by the knock away, and people have to slow down and not pull. So there is no rush on this fight. It's not super mana intensive. There's no enrage timer. There's no, oh my god, we got to kill this immediately. It's let the tank hold threat and have the off tanks taunt and get hit by Mortal Strike.
Sweet, perfect.
So we'll know if we have a hard time with that fight because people are pulling off the tank. Basically, you're going to want to watch the fight. You're going to want to watch the boss. And when he knocks away the tank, you're going to want to stop DPS. He's going to get knocked away. He's going to intervene back to the boss and start sundering it again. And at that point, you're going to want to hold. And then, give him a couple seconds to get aggro back and then go back into DPSing again. Hopefully DBM will be very good on the Mortal Strike and the Blast Wave timers. Otherwise, we're going to be in for some fun. All right, fourth boss. Let's say we kill the third boss. We all cheer. There's going to be more trash. And then a hunter will pull Fire Maw to the tank spot. This fight, everybody's got to wear their Oni cloaks. And it does wing buffet, which is similar to knockaway. We're going to have the... This one is going to be like a weird formation. We're going to have the tank against the left wall. We're going to have the off tanks 70 degrees from him. So not 90 degrees, so not like 12 o'clock and to the left. We're going to have them like more to the right. So if you're looking at the Drake, tanks at the head, the off tanks are by the back right foot, and the raid is all the way behind. There's no tail swipe, so we can be right behind it. Actually, no. That's for the 5th and 6th. This one we have to stay out of line of sight. Okay, so this is the one where the healers have to position themselves so that they can heal the tank, but they aren't in line of sight of the boss. There will be videos that we can watch that will show us that lineup, but we'll learn it. It'll be a spot where the healers can stand and heal the tank and not be in line of sight of the dragon. So it does Flame Buffet. It is a stacking debuff that you need to do damage. So let's say, for the sake of the record, you're a rogue. You're fighting him at his flank, and you're getting hit by Flame Buffet. When you get to 6 stacks of Flame Buffet, you run around the corner, around the doorway, out of his line of sight, and bandage yourself and wait for the stacks to wear off. When the stacks wear off, you go back into the fight. The off tanks are also going to have to get rid of the debuff, and the main tank is going to have to say, I've got too many debuffs at like 10, let an off tank taunt it, and the main tank has to go around the corner and get rid of his debuffs too before he goes back into... So this fight is all about managing your debuff. Everybody has to manage their debuff so that they only have 6 to 10 stacks. And when I say 6 to 10, I mean 6 for the normal DPS and 10 for stupid. So this is like the Mortal Strike, where the off tanks have to taunt the wing buffet, or the tank will get hit by wing buffet and lose aggro. So hopefully DBM will give us a cue. Otherwise, we're going to have to wing it and learn how many seconds. And the tanks are going to have to be open communication with each other like Mortal Strike and say, okay, wing buffet in 5. The off tank will taunt it. They'll get hit by the wing buffet. The other tank will taunt it back and continue tanking. Am I losing people? Are people getting tired of me? I heard a lot of ding-dongs.
No, we love you, Takai. Thank you.
All right, I'm doing my best. All right, so Fire Maw is not too difficult. If we beat the first 3 bosses, I have full faith that we'll kill the next 3, as the next 3 are nowhere near as difficult. Basically, the 3 Drakes, Fire Maw, Ebon Rock, and the other guy, they're tank fights. It's the tanks learning to taunt the wing buffet and remove their debuff on Fire Maw.
So we're screwed, right?
I have full faith in our tanks. They will communicate. And they will taunt the wing buffets, and we will do great. So once again, you go in, you do damage, you get 6 stacks of debuff, you go around the corner, you bandage yourself, you wait for the debuffs to run out, then you go back in. That's 90% of the fight for all of the DPS. The healers don't have to worry about this particular part of the fight because they will be out of line of sight of the boss and able to heal the tank. The healers will also have to do their best to heal the damage dealers, but the damage dealers should be able to heal a considerable amount of their damage with bandages. Bring lots of bandages to Blackwing. 2 stacks at least, I would say. Maybe even 3. They're not expensive. They're easy to get your hands on. Alright, so if we kill the 4th boss, we go to the 5th boss, Ebon Rock. Once again, it's going to do the Wing Buffet thing, where the tanks need to taunt the Wing Buffet, get hit by the Wing Buffet, the other tank taunts. It's going to do Shadow of Ebon Rock, which will cause the tank to heal the boss when he swings. So if he gets hit by the Shadow of Ebon Rock, he will hit the boss, and the boss will heal. There's a couple different ways to do this. Fast Lad's of the opinion that fuck that, it doesn't matter. We still do more damage than the healing. Just fight it like a spanking tank. If that works, cool. We'll do that. We'll try it first. If that doesn't work, then we're going to have to do a full tank rotation where a tank taunts it, gets hit by Shadow of Ebon Rock, says, I got Shadow. Another tank will taunt it, bring it to the tank spot, and begin tanking. He'll get hit with Shadow, and then the first tank will taunt it back. All the while, they'll have to taunt the Wing Buffets. It's a tank fight. They're all tank fights.
Guess we're carrying the raid again.
That's all there is. That's all there is to Ebon Rock. Ebon Rock is probably the easiest fight in the dungeon. Pure tank and spank, no weird abilities. It's all about the tanks taunting the Wing, and whether or not we have to deal with Shadow of Ebon Rock, or we can just heal through, or we just damage through it. All right, the 6th boss, Flame Gore. This boss is also easy. Same thing. Tanks have to taunt the Wing Buffet. Main tank tanks it. Wing Buffet's about to go off. Off tank taunts it. Gets hit by Wing Buffet. Main tank taunts it back. This one has Hunters trank shotting in a rotation. We can handle that. Our Hunters are awesome. We got that shit. We won't let the raid die to failed trank.
And they're humble too.
Yeah, they are.
So that's pretty much like the 6th boss is really easy. It's just the Hunters not failing. If the Hunters fail, then we can all make fun of the Hunters. Take away our Brutality Blades and Corehound Tooth privileges.
I'm in.
So that one's the same as the other 2. Tank fight with the Wing Buffets. If people are pulling aggro, that means they have to cool their jets because the Wing Buffets are too much to deal with. You can use your different abilities to taunt it. You got AoE taunt and Mocking Blow. So between all those abilities and the tanks will learn the Drakes. I have ultimate faith that the tanks will learn the Drakes. They'll get it. I know it. All right, so now we're on Chromagus. If we get to Chromagus, that'll be so cool. But I have a hard time believing we're going to beat Chromagus without some actual progression rate. We're going to have to learn Chromagus. Let me get... Hang on a second. I got to get ready for this one. All right. So Chromagus is different every week. He has 5 breath abilities. And each week, he will choose 2 of those breath abilities. Now, back in 2006... on Tuesday, when the raids reset, the first groups into Blackwing Lair to get to Chromagus were able to say which 2 breaths they were, and for the rest of the week, every raid that went into Blackwing Lair had the same breaths. So if it holds true to original retail in 2005, 2006, we will know on Sunday which breaths we have to deal with. I sure hope that's the case. If not, it's different every raid. Who knows? We'll have to learn it. So there's 5 different breaths, and each week he's going to use 2 different breaths. Now, if he uses the bronze breath, we will probably not win that week. That's just the simple, solid truth. That was the truth back then, and I'm pretty sure that'll be the truth now. Bronze is just a dick move on Blizzard's. It's just a dick move. Okay, so it's going to use 2 breaths. These are the 5 different breaths. Once again, he'll use 2 of them each week. So the first one is red. Every 30 seconds, he will use one of his breaths. If it's red, he will deal 4,000 damage to everybody that's in line of sight. If it's green, he will do 1,000 damage that lasts for 15 seconds and deals 1,000 damage every 3 seconds, so 5,000 damage total. These are rough, and they're going to hit our tank every time, every 30 seconds. Blue deals 1,400 damage and reduces attack speed by 80%, which means his threat is going to go to hell. Black deals 750 damage every 3 seconds, but this breath stacks and lasts for a whole minute. So basically, he has it on the entire fight. So the whole fight, he's got 750 damage every 3 seconds. And bronze, which is the worst, halves his maximum health and stuns the target for 6 seconds. So first of all, let's say with a flask, Stupid has 7,500 health. This will down him to like 3,000 health. And the red does 4,000 damage. So if it's bronze red, he'll get hit by bronze, lose half his health, then 30 seconds later get hit by red and die. Bummer, eh?
Wait,
So
how many
I
seconds
think-
later? Wait,
That's super rough.
That's super
what's the
rough.
gap between the 2 hits that I just hear?
30 seconds.
30
That seems like a
seconds.
long time.
That's enough
That's
time
a
to
long
heal.
time.
That's
All right, so basically these
Plus the
breaths.
6 second stun.
Yeah, and so if it's blue or bronze, we're gonna have aggro issues. If it's bronze and red, it's basically impossible. But anyway, these breaths are obviously really bad. All of them are terrible. And so if you're in line of sight, every 30 seconds when he does one of his breaths, you're gonna die. So this is a entire raid out fight. That is 90% of this fight is outing around the corner doorway. We're going to fight him in a doorway, okay? He's going to be on the left side of the doorway. Everybody's going to be right in the spot where if you move to your left, you're out of line of sight. If you move to your right, you're in line of sight. So we're going to have a timer. We're going to be doing damage. Breath in 5. Move to the left. Breath goes off. Move to the right. Resume damage and healing. The worst part about this is if he gets killed because of damage during an out, because the healers are outing. This is going to be the hardest line that the healers have to toe. So when I call 5 seconds to out, the healers have to top off the tank, do their out perfectly, go back in, and resume damage and healing. And it's going to be a dance, and we're going to have to learn it, and it's going to be hard. But we're going to learn it, and we're going to win. But the out portion of this fight is by far the most intense of the different problems.
So right before the out, the priest and the druid should throw on the hots, right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Maybe a bubble from the priests too.
On the tank, or is he on
Yeah,
the...
Yes,
on the
the
tank.
tank
Oh,
can't
okay.
do out.
Gotcha.
So-
Okay,
So
so
in regards to the bronze breath, maybe it's advantageous for us to have Arctor with a tank flask because he'll have a
More
ton
health.
of health, and
Yep.
cutting his health in half would probably be like cutting any of the warrior tanks' health by a quarter. So
Yeah,
he
that
might have a
sounds
little bit more
good.
survivability.
I like that idea. Yeah.
Then can we also get the plus 200 hit points for art? I'm down for helping buy the Libra. Get
Sure.
the extra 200 hit points.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he needs a
Oh.
warlock in there for the imp buff.
Yeah, if he's in a warlock group, that'll help him too.
all right, so I'm not even done. That's not even all of it.
Yeah.
Second of all are the afflictions. Now these aren't 2 a week. He will do all of these every week, and maybe he'll do red 5 times in a row. Maybe he'll do bronze 5 times in a row. It sucks. So these are the different afflictions. These just hit random people as the fight goes. There's no way to avoid them. There's no out. It's just as we're doing damage in between the outs, he's going to do these to random people. The red one does fire damage every 3 seconds and will heal the boss if you die. That sucks. We can't let that person die. So the healers, while healing the tank, who's taking ridiculous amounts of damage, also have to make sure that they heal the people that hit with the afflictions. So this is a lot of pressure on healers too, because if too many people with red affliction die, the boss will heal the full and we've lost. So green deals nature damage every 5 seconds and halves incoming heals. That one's not too bad. Blue slows movement speed by 70%, making the outs even harder. And casting speed by 50% and drains mana. If we get too many blues on our healers, we are screwed. Then there's black, which increases the fire damage you take by 100%. This is the best one, unless you get hit by black and then get hit by red. That would suck. But if you get hit by black and do your out properly, that would be the best. People getting hit by black is sweet. And then there's bronze. Bronze sucks. And he's going to do it to random people throughout the fight, and you're probably going to die if you get it. So bronze randomly stuns you for 4 seconds, and this lasts 10 minutes and is only removable by hourglass sand. Now, we are only going to get so many hourglass sand a week. I would say, off the top of my head, we're going to have 2 to 3 attempts on Chromagus every week before we're fucked, and we run out of hourglass sand. So this is the thing.
So we can save them up throughout each week, though, right? And we're not guaranteed to have
Yeah,
bronze.
so the first time we meet Chromagus, we might have several weeks, but I hope that we get to Chromagus within the first few weeks.
Can we also do trash runs to get the hourglass sand? Or
I don't think you can
No.
do trash runs.
No, you can't do trash runs in Black.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so bronze randomly stuns you for 4 seconds and the last 10 minutes is only removable by hourglass sand. Now, we've only got enough hourglass sand to give it to the tank, to give it to the healers, and to give it to the hunters. So if you're a mage or a warlock and you get hit by bronze, you're going to miss an out, and die to a breath. God, this fight just sucks.
And does a dead ratio remove that?
No, there's nothing you can do. Only hourglass sand, and we have to give those to the tanks, the healers, and the hunters. So if you get hit by...
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
Orcs, stuns, question mark, anything?
Maybe.
All right, I'll take it.
All right. So the final mechanic is Frenzy. This is dispelled via tranquilizing shot, and he does it every 12 seconds. So we're going to have a perfect hunter rotation on Trank Shot. This, unlike the 4th boss, I have less faith in our hunters. This is going to suck, and it's going to require our hunters to learn. And if we don't tranquilizing shot, it's going to frenzy and kill the tank almost instantly, and we'll wipe, and everyone will blame the hunters, and I will cry. Literal tears. So the hunters are going to have to do a perfect Trank Shot rotation, be very vocal about it, and do our best to do it, and then do the out. I mean, maybe it'll do frenzy at the same time as a breath, and that'll kill the tank, and so one of the hunters will have to get breathed on. It's going to be a mess. But I have full faith in our hunters that we will learn the fight, and we will call out our tranks, and we will do our rotation. But that's the other reason why hunters get the hourglass sand. Because if a hunter gets hit with bronze and gets randomly stunned for 4 seconds, he won't be able to trank, the boss will get frenzy and eat the tank, and then we lose, and that sucks.
Also, as far as I know, for the frenzy, it becomes untranquilizable below 20%.
Dude, that sucks.
Oof.
Pretty sure.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
then that would make it extra good.
Yeah,
to
that's
have
true.
hardcore
It's
tanks.
got that. That's written there, right there. Yep. So, in a nutshell, tank pulls to the doorway, left side of the doorway. Everybody positions on that exact point where to the right you're in line of sight, to the left you're out of line of sight. Go into line of sight, damage, breath is incoming, out, we go out, breath happens, go back in, damage. All the while, we're healing the afflictions that are hit on random people, the hunters are trank shotting, the healers are healing the afflicted people in the tank, and the fight goes on, and we win. Any questions? I know that's a long one. This is. I think Chromagus is harder than Nefarian. Nefarian is just long. Is that a good explanation? Everybody happy with that?
Watching
Yes.
the Chromagus video helps a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I would recommend everyone, even after this, still watch a couple videos just to get familiar, and then obviously we're gonna plenty of tries.
Yeah, hop in retail just so that you can see how the space position.
I would never hop in retail. But yeah,
you can buy my account.
Just like the simulations.
Yeah, I'm listening in on your guys's because I got kind of tired of watching ours. It's just a bunch of people running through retail.
Okay, that's not good.
so Capcase said the dispel works on all of them except bronze. Do we have info on that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so yeah, each one has a different dispel. That's right. That's good. I didn't mention that. Thank you for that. So red, green, blue, and black have different dispel abilities and can be dispelled and need to be.
Yeah, some of them are diseases, some of them are curses. I think, right?
Yeah,
and some of them are
magic and poison. It's all of them. So we're gonna need all of our healers to be on
Can
top of
poison only be done by a druid?
Oh
Yep.
no!
Yep. So we're gonna need.
Rip Wake and our
Hopefully, we'll have
poison.
2 to 3 druids.
Poison cleansing
It'll be-
Yeah, we got shamans.
shamans too.
Totems
okay, that's
and
good. That's
and
good.
so like if it's dispellable, we can put down a totem if no resistance is needed for diseases or for poison.
Well, we can have Arctor if need be.
Although
Dispelling.
he's probably going to need to be one of
It's
our
probably
tanking options because he has just so much health to deal with. Bronze.
yeah. So yeah, if the big bronze hit happens, I definitely agree that Arctor should take one because of all his life. So,
Okay.
Great.
I've only got 22 people in the channel. My school. Where's the rest of the raid?
I don't even know if I'm gonna be there, but I'm dedicated.
I'm loving the school, by the way.
Thank you. I worked hard on it. I hope I'm doing good.
Over
I
50% is better than most of my college lectures.
Yeah, I haven't fallen asleep yet, so it's better than both work and college for me.
Right on. Okay, I'm being yelled at to do a diaper change. Give me less than 5 minutes, and I will continue on with the Therian.
Okay, recess, everybody.
I wish I
I'll
had
be
monkey
back.
bars.
Let me throw some music in here.
And for anyone that was curious, it's 10 total combinations of breaths.
You ran the permutations.
I mean, it's about as simple as it gets. 5 choosing 2.
Repeating, of course.
Oh, yeah, that's why I said 5. That's why I said 5 choosing, not 5 permute.
Glad we got some nerds in this guild.
What do you mean?
Basic
all
math
nerds.
skills, man. Look
Yeah.
at these nerds.
Yeah. high school level stats.
God, I wish I could read.
I say the same thing at work all the time, but then I realize that no one can read any of the shit that my company puts out.
I started way back in the day playing Pokemon Red before I could read.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how I learned to read was playing Pokemon. I'm not even kidding. Like,
Same here.
Is that why you speak in strange, backwards, half Japanese sentences? Has no one ever?
Wakarimashin! Hey guys, what's going on here? Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey, stupid.
What's up, man?
Am I counted in core for this, or should I still sign up for it?
Smelly Dumps.
Yes, sir.
Could you say your name just in case?
Smelly Dumps.
And can you spell that out and then repeat it again one more time?
SMELLYDUMPS. Smelly Dumps.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm sorry, I kind of lagged out. So stupid. I
Yes,
noticed
you
my
are,
data-
by the way.
A dumb question. So, if we were in core for Molten Core, do we have to like reapply for BL, Blackwing later?
Unless your schedule changed dramatically, no.
Gotcha. Okay,
That's
just
transferring
curious.
over. I might have to reaffirm with everyone on Saturday for MC because obviously that's a different day. But if you're in core now, you are. I mean, you're obviously going to transfer over if your schedule permits it. So, but yeah, everyone who was in core is in core. Long story short.
Okay, and then does core also cover doing Blackwing layer, or sorry, Molten Core on Saturdays?
Yes. So you're in that, but again, I'm gonna have to just reaffirm with everyone, make sure that it'll work with your schedule. If you
Okay.
can't make it, then bummer, but we'll just have to find someone new for like an MC
And
core or something.
Yeah,
There's
right.
absolute-
What's up? So.
Is there absolutely no way that we're gonna have a 2-day-a-week rating?
No, I mean that's always a possibility. So we could run into BWL and just see no other way except multiple day progression, which I think.
Yeah,
is,
I'm highly
yeah.
I'm highly of the opinion that a Thursday Sunday Blackwing layer would be awesome. I personally believe that would be awesome. But we'll stick with 1 day a week and see how far we get.
I'm a fan of Thursday Sunday, but the problem is like you'd rather not be that. So if we'll probably after next BWL we get a taste for BWL. I'm gonna try to talk one-on-one and try to see what a secondary date would be that would work, if need be. But I mean, in the future, we may have another, like AQ. I don't know if there's much progression in that or not. Sounds
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Oh
so
god, AQ40? No.
Yeah.
it's hard, is it? Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody having fun so far? We're moving on to Nefarian. Nefarian is a long fight. Most of the walkthroughs say that the entire fight from beginning to end will last about 40 minutes. An entire episode of The Simpsons plus a little bit. So here's what we do. When we get into Nefarian's room, he's sitting on the throne. We get everybody into position. We talk to him. He begins walking around the room and hitting people. Hang on a second. Okay, so he starts walking around and he hits people with Shadow Bolt and Mind Control. So you got to not kill your friends, and you got to heal the Fireball or the Shadow Bolts, and he'll also hit people with random fears, which can be, but that might be a waste of mana. I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll have Tremor Totem, so most of the people that won't be a big deal. So he walks around the room, hitting people with Shadow Bolts, hitting people with Mind Control, don't kill your friends, and hitting people with Fear. The Mind Controllers can be sheeped, and then after Mind Control ends, they can be cleansed. That's something we're going to have to learn and see whether or not is a good idea, because sheep lasts like 40 seconds, and so if we sheep somebody, he's basically out of the fight for a while unless he cleanses, and that's a lot of mana. Okay,
So on the sheep thing, I heard that it's a good idea to have, like, I don't know, mages out of line of sight or something. I don't know if you just said that or not.
Good question. We'll have to learn when we get. Okay.
Never
Go
mind.
ahead.
I was gonna say, how long is the mind control?
Oh, it's probably like 8 to 12 seconds, and they'll be doing a lot of damage to our raid in that time.
Would it be
Warriors,
conducive for warlocks to fear while they're mind controlled?
that might be a good idea, except that'll maybe get them into cleave range of the next part of the fight.
Right.
Things like that. Okay, so, hang on a second. Okay, so while he's walking around doing these horrible things to our raid, he's going to spawn dragonoids. They will spawn and continue to spawn until 42 of them have been spawned and killed. Now, like Chromagus, the final boss of Ubers.
A dragon.
That's a dragonoid. The big centaur-shaped dragon.
It's not Dragonkin.
No,
It's part robot.
Dragon-
Okay, dude, relax.
okay, Dragonkin. Sure, I don't know. The walkthroughs say dragonoid.
Actually, it's pronounced.
So every
Technically right is the best kind of right.
Yeah. So every week, it will choose 2 types of dragonoids out of the 5, and those 2 will be for the entire week. Once again, back in 2006, we were able to find out ahead of time which of the 2 spawned. I don't know if that's going to be like that in Classic. We'll find out. So, the 5 different types of Dragonkin will be red, which resists fire and deals fire damage in a cone, so the tanks are going to have to tank them facing away from the raid. Blue, which resists frost and drains mana and reduces attack speed. Blue is the worst by far. If we get blue, that's going to suck. So blue, the mages are going to have to use our arcane shot or whatever. And we're going to lose mana on our healers, which is going to suck. Green resists nature and casts a stun. That's not so bad. Black resists shadow and fire and deals a direct, strong fire damage. So those are going to suck because our warlocks are not going to be able to help. And bronze resists arcane and lowers casting and attack speed. So we're going to have aggro issues. So, Nefarian's walking around, being a dick. Shadow bolts, fears, mind controls. Dragonkin are spawning. We're killing them. We're going to use skulls and X's. The 4 tanks are going to have to do their best to grab them and point them away from the raid. We're going to have to kill them as quickly as we can. Now, let's just say for the sake of the argument that we do all 42 and we're all a good raid, we're all still standing. The mages and warlocks have to hold on to 30 to 40% of their mana. If they're out of mana when the last Dragonkin dies, we're going to be in trouble. They need to watch their mana and hold their mana, because at a certain point in the fight, he's going to res the Dragonoids, and they're going to turn into skeleton dragon guys, and we're going to have to AoE them. So if we don't have enough mana to AoE them, we're going to die. So the mages and warlocks have to hold some mana in reserve. Remember that.
Strathholm Holy Water.
Yeah, what about
Yeah,
holy
and
water?
Strathholm Holy Water was awesome. If you go to Strathholm, start collecting holy water, that would be great. That would be awesome. As well as bombs from engineering. But I'm going to assume that this will be our 4th attempt at the boss, and we'll have used all of our consumables, and we're going to have to hope that the warlocks and mages kept some reserve mana. Now, once the 42 Dragonids die, he spawns into the Dragon Nefarian. Just like Onyxia, standard dragon rules apply. Stay away from the head, stay away from the tail. The tank will begin tanking it, and he's going to do fears, and we will get a warning when the fears are going to happen, because the ground will start shaking, and that's when we'll know the fear is going to happen. So the issue is the fear is going to happen, and you're going to get feared into the tail, or you're going to get feared into the mouth, and you're going to die. So if I remember correctly from way back when, I did a bit of an out call, and the melee DPS kind of ran away from Nefarian a little bit, so that when they got feared, they wouldn't get feared into the tail or the head. We'll have to trial and error that and figure if that's a good idea or not.
Well, maybe we should probably have people bring Thaps as well. They're not too expensive. They might be worth just bringing.
What are they?
Free action potions.
Oh,
prevent
free action
fears.
potions. Okay, yeah, but then they're not able to use heal or mana potions, no?
True.
Those are probably more important.
Okay.
What are
Okay.
probably more? Healer or mana potions or
Taps.
Thaps? Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, same.
so when he is a dragon, he's going to call out class-specific negative things. I don't know what when he called them. He's going to yell and make fun of a class and then fuck with you. If it calls out druid, the druid will be morphed into cat form and be unable to shapeshift. It's not too bad. Could be worse. If he calls out hunters, hunters have to switch to a secondary bow because their bow will get broken. That one sucks. If we get hunters too many times and the hunters aren't good at switching, we're going to lose our hunter DPS. I have personally...
That doesn't bother me at all.
I have personally collected 4 bows. I've got my main bow and 3 sub bows. I suggest all the hunters do the same.
If any hunters need bows, hit me and tree up when we're doing jump runs. We can get you some sadder bows.
Yeah.
Just curiosity, is it like broken? As
Broken.
Oh, that's.
Or you can
fucked.
repair it, right?
You can repair it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of people putting up repair bots during the fight, but I mean that's expensive. That's really expensive.
But like, if it's broken in the fight, it's broken until you repair it. It's not like it comes
it's
back
broken.
after you. That's fucked up.
Yeah. All right, so if he
Enjoy
calls
your
out a
repair bill,
mage, the mage will cast polymorph on other peoples of the raid. That kind of sucks, but we can at least cleanse that. If it's a priest, direct heals will apply corrupted healing, a dot that stacks. So priests will begin hurting their friends. This is going to suck because then we'll only have druids and shamans able to heal until it wears off. If that happens to priests, I suggest stopping everything so that you get your, 5 seconds, 15 seconds, so your mana comes back? What is it?
5.
5 seconds. Stop doing everything so that you get your 5-second mana, so get your mana back during your call. Rogues are placed next to Nefarian and cannot move. That one kind of sucks because they can get placed in front of the head and get breathed on. Boo.
I think they
Shaman
can
placed...
vanish.
I believe they're stunned.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they can't move, and they might be next to the head, so they're going to get breathed on. That sucks. Rogue One sucks. Shaman casts a powerful Nova and Fury totems that must be killed. So the Hunters will probably be in charge of that because we got the range for it. So if it calls out Shamans, the Hunters will look for the totems and kill the totems. Warlock summons a pair of Infernals that stun the Warlock and nearby raid members. Those suck. It doesn't say whether or not we're supposed to send a tank after them and kill them. Question mark? Are we supposed to kill the Infernals when they spawn? Does anybody know?
There were some techniques in the classic, like the original version, where you could enslave them, but I think typically you just want to burn them down, depending on what happens in this iteration.
Okay, yeah, because the walkthroughs don't say whether or not to kill them. So we'll find out. And warriors are swapped into Berserker stance with double the damage taken effect and unable to swap stances. That's going to suck because the tank is going to get whacked. And so we're going to have to overheal the tank at that.
Again, we do have a Fury, or a Fury, Druid.
Yeah.
A Feral Druid. So, I don't know, can he taunt it off?
He can't taunt the boss.
Ah, fuck.
And we can't have the Druid tank because he'll get turned into a cat and get whacked.
Sure. Well, I was thinking, if he can taunt it, then he can grab it for a bit, but...
No taunts on the dragon.
Are these class calls throughout the entire fight, or are they set in stone like the previous?
They're throughout the entire fight.
Okay, so it can go through a whole rotation of classes.
Yeah, I don't know how. It doesn't say how often he does it. I'm assuming it's not super quick. Okay, so let's say we're doing good. We're dealing with the class calls. We're dealing with the breaths and the fears. At 20%. He will summon the bone constructs that I talked about earlier. This is where the mages and the warlocks need some reserve mana, and this is where we can use those engineering abilities and holy waters to kill the bone constructs. They don't have a shit ton of health, but they're going to be all over the room, and the warriors are going to have to AoE taunt them, bring them into a pile, and have them AoE down. That will be, we're going to have to learn to do that. We're going to have to deal with that. Once we kill the bone constructs, it's just 20% more of Nefarian. We kill the dragon, we win. I don't think it's going to be as difficult as Cormagus. It's just going to be long. Here's the bad part. If we fail and die during this 40-minute fight, when we run back, it'll be about 12 minutes before he respawns on his throne. So every time we fail at Nefarian, it's like an hour. Like, every attempt is going to be an hour. So by the time this is why I kind of want 2 nights a week in Blackwing Lair, because if we finally do get to Nefarian, it's gonna be like midnight, and if we fail, we're gonna have to sit there and wait for him to respawn, and that sucks.
You don't have to clear those trap room hallway again.
No, once the third boss is dead, the trap room is done. So any questions on Nefarian?
No.
All right, and that is Blackwing Lair.
Thank you,
Sounds like
thank you.
we have to do this over and over again by watching video and have a practical mindset in that fight.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put on Rat Punk's video while you sleep, so then you can gain it through osmosis.
Yeah, I think it'll be easier to sleep with Scarm.
Because it seems like everybody has to know what they're doing, and not just that, everybody has to sync.
Yes.
Whereabout are you guys kind of expecting us to get to week 1? Like realistic expectations and stuff.
Probably Cormagus.
I like his positivity. To be completely honest with you, I think we'll spend a couple hours on the first boss until we learn it and get it down and then win. And I am assuming that we'll kill the second boss after learning all of the different aggro ability. And we're going to wipe a lot on the second boss learning aggro. I have a feeling we'll kill the first 2, clear the trash, and fail killing the third boss, and then we'll run out of time.
Dude, I'm so excited to fail.
I think we're going to kill everything, no deaths, all the way.
We're going to speed run it, yeah.
speed run it. It's gonna be
I-
30 minutes.
To be honest, I think we're going to need some serious progression. And at 1 day a week, I think that's going to suck. But we'll see how we do. Maybe we'll do really good. Maybe our team is geared.
Maybe we cut off MC.
We'll do real well.
MC should be like on Thursday or something, and then we should just have the weekend devoted to Blackwing Lair.
That's another option, actually.
Yep.
Saturday, Sunday.
Speaking just personally, I can't do Saturdays.
Yeah, there's always going to be people that can't do certain days, and that sucks. We're going to have to find a middle ground. But I would appreciate 2 nights a week in Blackwing Lair. That would be cool for me. We'll figure it out as the weeks go on.
Okay, so I'll do a little survey or something for Potato Discord channel, and if you guys could pay attention to that in the next couple days, and just kind of see like whether or not you can make certain days. So it's less about what you kind of want to, and just like what you're available, like evening or something like that, if it's possible on Thursday. That would be super dope.
Stupid. I do have a poll in the hashtag polls channel that everyone can touch on.
Yeah. So I'll probably do something similar to that.
And this is an open offer to anyone trying to farm some materials. If anyone wants to run through Scholomance a bunch of times to get some dark runes for your mana, I am very down to do that.
Are you tanking?
Like whoever just spoke, I couldn't hear what you said.
No, I said, are you a tank?
I'm a healer.
Okay, I'm a healer too. So.
I can tank. No, seriously, I've tanked Skolo 3 times now.
I believe in you.
One of the best places to farm dark demonic runes is definitely a shard.
These are the dark runes.
Also, send all your Felcloth to me.
They do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I know. Dark runes are just easier for me since I'm a healer and I can't really clear out mobs that well, even in kitty form.
Oh, I'm a cat. I do it all the time. The guys aren't that bad, and you could use you can gather them up and use a hurricane.
Sherwood is better because they're lower level.
Okay, the hurricane's a good point. That's a good point.
Park Skid Hurricane, as long as you have this amount of spell power. I don't know if you like Briarwood Reed or anything.
I mean, I got a lot of plus healing on most of my gear now, unfortunately. I do have some plus general spell power, but you know.
Yeah, I have like 4 sets of gear. I hate it because my bags are all full in my bank.
Anyways, thank you, Tekai. Thank you, everyone, for showing up throughout all this. Remember, this Saturday, MC. I think I'm going to skip Trash this week. Let's just focus on MC and BWL. I'm super amped for BWL. It's going to be 3:30 Sunday.
Oh, why don't we do MC on Friday instead of doing Trash?
Schedule. Wait, on Fridays? Why would we?
Well, we usually only have enough people to fill 1 raid on Fridays. I suppose if we said, hey, we're doing it, then more people would show up. But let's see what we do with 1 night a week, and then we'll branch out from there.
Oh, Stupid, do you want me to respec Deep Frost?
Yes, going into BWL. Yes.
Okay.
And then
As long as we have 1 mage per raid that's got Winter's Chill or whatever.
This would put us at 2. I believe 2 was ideal.
No.
Okay.
Or, yeah. Or that's at least Toba's recommendation is having 2. So Gaffa is a Winter's Chill, and then Smelly be.
Okay.
Smelly Dumps would be chill as well.
I can do that.
All right, so somebody recorded that?
Yep.
Awesome. If you could post that somewhere, and maybe 1 or 2 people will look at it that weren't.
We'll do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, that guy.
Yeah.